unite from the mountains to the sea. Warriors of love, you and me. We are the new tribe of the earth.
Welcome, everybody. Good evening to Rainbow Warriors 101. I am honored and I am very grateful to be your moderator. My name is Michelle, and I will be your moderator again this evening. Children of Mother Earth, we know who we are, and together, hand in hand, we are forging the way for the new earth, not for ourselves, for all the generations to come, for all life. And that is super exciting. One ripple at a time. Very beautiful. I'm very honored to be here, especially with our special guest, Grandmother Barbara. Grandmother, we're honored to have you here. And with that, I will pass the feather over to Chief Mel.
Okay.
Chief.
Thank you, and welcome everyone. And Grandmother Barbara, knowing that you part Cherokee, I have Cherokee tobacco here that I'm putting up and giving with gratitude, Creator, for this day, for this season in which we're in with this eclipse and the alignment. There's so much going on, the frequencies that are falling into place. For those that are in tuned, those that have been enlightened, the star seed children, the rainbow, the crystal children, known by many names around the world. This is a time that we're coming together and focusing on those things that are spiritual. And with that, I ask Creator to smile upon us this evening, and that the eagle, we be like the eagle, that we be able to see and take in the knowledge given by Grandmother Barbara, that we may see and be able to use it in our life. And like the wolf, that we use this and not do any harm or damage to the earth. And that this that is given to us, that we be like the bear, that we share it amongst one another, our families, our friends, that we all grow together. We are community. We are united globally. We are rainbow warriors. And with that, Buffalo, these things that are spiritual, let us always keep our focus on Creator and know that that is the light on our path. And as long as we stay that way, the eagle will be able to see and move forward. With that, I give thanks. Aho. Let's see in our prayer. We talked about the solstice and we talked about the alignment. It's in frequency. That again is electrical. That is all of us, our plants, everything here on Mother Earth today was getting an attunement, an alignment. And I'm going to shut up and let Grandmother Barbara get started because she knows how all that energy and all works with our plants. Grandmother, welcome to Rainbow Warriors 101.
Thank you very much. Am I loud enough tonight? Okay. I know that you've gotten a lot of information about the fertilizer and et cetera, and all the technical stuff. I want to give you a little background about myself. First of all, I was raised on a farm in the 30s, and we bought coffee, sugar, salt. That's it. And the rest of the time, we bought no fertilizer. We bought nothing. The rest of the time, we made our own compost. We had a calf, a pig, and our big garden and chickens all over the place. So I'm not coming from a city. I'm coming from, the Depression, where you raised your food or you starved. That was pretty much your choice between the two. So I'm going to talk tonight about the indigenous perspective, or the old farmer, and also throw in a little bit of Celtic maybe, because I am Cherokee Celtic, Lakota. And I'm going to start out with a story. this story, and I'm just going to read it to you. I've heard it from several different tribes, and I've heard it several different ways. So I'm going to share it with you the way it was shared with me. And I think it just might give you a different perspective and give you an idea of where I'm going. So, long time ago, the humans could talk to the plants and they could talk to the animals. And then the humans began to forget who they were. And they began to think that they controlled the plants and the animals. And they forgot their prayers. They took more than they needed. They never gave thanks. And the animals and plants got pretty upset about that. They decided that it wasn't what they liked. So they had a big meeting and they talked about the humans. And the first thing they wanted to do was kill all the humans. And they argued for days and days and days. And then the bear stepped forward, and the bear said, "No, we can't kill them, but I will sit in the west and teach them how to heal once they remember how to listen." And then the eagle flew in, and he landed in the north, and he said, "I will show them when they're ready, not only to how to talk to the plants and the animals and the trees, everything, but how to talk to Creator." And so then the coyote was sitting in the east. And if any of you know, the coyote is the trickster. And he said, "I will give them their visions, but sometimes they will have trouble interpreting them because I am a trickster." And then in the south were all the water birds. And they said, "We will remind them that water is life, and that without that water, neither the birds nor the animals will be able to talk to them or live." Then each of the plant kingdoms stepped forward, and they said, "If they remember, we will each give them a medicine to heal them and keep them healthy." And last, the chief of the plant kingdom stepped forward, and his name was Tobacco. And he said, "I will be the medicine that they can use to honor and respect and communicate with us. But if they dishonor that and use it in a bad way, then I will give them a disease that will kill them." So that's a little bit different perspective where plants and animals are actually making decisions about our well-being. But that is the Indigenous perspective, and of course the Celtic. So tonight I'm asking you to, some of you have already heard me say some things, but to shift your perception about who you are. We are not here to control the land. We are not here to control the animals. They are our equal relatives. I'll say that again. The animals and the plants are our equal relatives. They are not less than. They're not to be used. They walk beside us, and they have an intelligence. They have a very distinct intelligence. Even above the documentaries that you're watching, there is another intelligence that I'm going to share with you so you can tap into it. So when I go out with the plants, the first thing that I do, and I have a huge medicine garden, and I actually have two of them, but the one has a 9-foot fence around it, so my beautiful 15 deer won't eat everything because they happen to like most of the medicines that I like. So in the traditional way, you always stand and give your lineage out of respect, not out of ego, but out of respect. So I will stand there and I will say, this is Wichokpi Towi. I am Lakota, Celtic, and Cherokee. I honor you. May I have permission to enter this garden? And I do not go into that garden without putting down tobacco and without asking permission, because this is their territory. I may have put some of the plants there, but it's their dominion, and I have to honor that. So I always ask permission, period. I always carry tobacco, or in the Celtic way, I carry lavender with me. So when I go into that area, even if I am pulling what you all call a weed, I sit with it. I offer the tobacco or the lavender, and I explain to them that I appreciate the fact that they're giving their lives for the other plants, and that they will not be thrown away, but they will be put in the compost so they can develop the fertilizer and the minerals and things that these plants need. And of course, in my garden, there are very few weeds. I can't have very many people work there because they pull the wild lettuce. They think it's a weed, you know. They pull all kinds of things that I know is medicine. So once I get the garden cleared and I am bringing plants into the garden, I don't open the books that tell me where to plant it, like full sun or partial sun. What I do is talk to the plant and I'll say, where would you like to be planted? And I'll usually have 3 or 4 specimens, and I'll put them different places that I'm feeling. And sometimes when I go to put it down on the ground, I'll hear in my head aloud, no, just no. And so I'll walk and I'll put it down different places until I hear a yes. And whenever I do that, that plant thrives. It gets huge. It grows, and I don't have to take care of it. Now, sometimes things change. Like I have a very large walnut tree next to my medicine garden. And if any of you do planting, you know that the roots of the walnut tree will kill many plants just by being there. So in that case, I have to do raised beds. And I went over to the walnut tree and I said, this is really hard on these plants. Are you willing to sacrifice yourself and be made into something beautiful? Will you allow me to cut you down? And I got, absolutely not. Period. So some of the plants cooperate with the walnut tree and some of them go in pots or in raised beds. So it's not a control. It's almost like I'm in school learning. They're teaching me what they want me to know. So I put down, I brought back from South Dakota a yucca plant. And I planted it in 3 different places. And I asked, but the one absolutely said yes. So I put it in that place. And those of you who have been to South Dakota, this yucca plant is 3 foot across. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's taking over the whole bed because it loves it there. So I have this plant here, and it looks a little bit better now. I had it out on one of my patios and it just looked terrible. So I said to my friend who is here this morning, maybe it needs water. And I put my finger in it and it said, no, it doesn't need water. But it told me, I don't like it here. It's too hot. So I brought it into a shady spot and immediately the leaves began to perk up. It's in the house right now, and it has been telling me all day, I don't like the house either. So it's going to go out in a cool spot at our entrance where there's no sun, just shade. And so it's really, some of you that live alone, I don't live alone. I live in a very crowded place with lots of plants and, of course, lots of gemstones. And sometimes they all talk at once. Yeah, and Hannah is looking, Hannah has had this experience. They all start talking at once, and I just have to say, wait a minute, line up. I'll listen to each one of you, but you've got to slow up. My ears don't work as fast as you. So it's a normal conversation. I don't know how else to put it. It's a ceremony, but it's in the next call, I'll talk about the ceremony and how you do that with the plant. But as far as taking care of the plant, it's just a family. They are my relatives. Now sometimes I give them little gifts, and one of the things they love to do, and I got these on the internet. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a gemstone and it says love on it. Well, they like these, but they like these better. These are stones that have love written on them by 5-year-olds. And they like these stones much better than the gemstones. And so they write love on them. And then this one, I just love. It has a heart on the back. And some of them put the date on the back. So someone gave me, who runs a school, one of the forest schools, gave me a whole bag of these that she had her kindergarten children make. So I went out this morning and pulled a lot of the gemstones because they wanted the other stones. So, I like to function with questions. So I hope you're writing down your questions. So, um, now some of you do not hear voices in your head, and you're probably fortunate because my last neurologist, when I gifted him with the book, he labeled me as a schizophrenic and won't see me anymore, which I thought was pretty funny. But I found another good neurologist. So some of you don't hear it, but some of you will feel it. It's just a feeling that you get, and you have to play with that feeling. And sometimes, like Zon, they'll give you a song and you just sing it. They love to be drummed to, they love to be sung to. There, anything that you would love to do that brings you joy, brings them joy. Get a shift. You are not dealing with plants. You are dealing with relatives. You are dealing with family. You are dealing with friends. And if you really want to have the joy of that, you think of them in that way. I talked about the tobacco, and the tobacco, whenever you ask for a service or have a question, especially for an elder, you always bring that tobacco with you. And because of the numerology, and if you look at plants, all the flowers and all the leaves are a reflection of that numerology or those numbers. There are actually plants out there who absolutely mirror the lodge. Some of the daisies have 16 petals. And it's to be aware of that connection. So when you offer tobacco, you offer it once, twice, 3 times, and the 4th time you hold it there and see if the elder will accept it or even if the plant will accept it. I'll take a pinch of it. And sometimes, I have plants that like the lavender and don't like the tobacco. So you may think I'm crazy, but I know what my reality is, and it is the plant. It's the fact that they're alive, and that every time I talk to one of the plants or the animals, why they are also children of Maka Unchi or Unchi Maka, Mother Earth and Grandmother Earth. So I'm honoring her as well as them. So when you go out to gather a plant, they're usually in a group and there is a mother plant. She's usually a little bit bigger and she is usually in the center of a group of plants. And I have found, except for the tobacco, that much of the plant kingdom is matriarch, just like the indigenous people are matriarch, even though most of you don't know that. But, even in the Lakota way, nothing happens in that Sundance unless you go ask a grandmother if it's okay for it to happen, or you'll be in trouble, period. So when you're out there working with the plants, you go to that mother plant. And the first thing you say is, are you willing to offer some of your children for me to use as healing medicine for other people? Sometimes I get a no, and if I get a no, I just walk away. Sometimes I get a yes, and then I'll say, how many leaves can I take? And usually it's 1 or 2 leaves off of each of her children, but never, ever all the leaves. She protects them so they can be there next year. So it's like those mother plants are just like a mother who is human, who protects her children and takes care of them. So I'm looking to see what else I've had down here for tonight. I can't believe I've been talking for 30 minutes already. I think in this part of it, that's pretty much all. The only thing I would not have to, cancel clear, I would like to share with you, I hear a lot of hoes, and I don't know about the other cultures, but I know in the Lakota culture, women do not say ho. They say hi-yay. It's a more feminine word, hi-yay, H-I-Y-A. That's not how it's spelled in Lakota, but that's how it's pronounced, hi-yay. And so it's a different term and it has a different meaning to it. So, and when I leave the premises of the garden, I say thank you for your gifts. I really love you and appreciate you, and I will pray for rain and whatever you need, just send me a message. So, Michelle, that's pretty much it, unless they want to ask questions.
Thank you, Grandmother Barbara. Tobacco down. Thank you. The plants, and you've shared so much with us. The plants truly do speak with us and really trust that. I've shared with Grandmother, I was, 4,000 kilometers away, and my beautiful Rosy Toes, her name got changed. She wanted a name change, was letting me know that she was dry. And so I let her know that I was coming back, that there would be water coming. People are to be, so I let them know, like, I'm coming back, I'm leaving, I'm coming back. But I knew that when I came back, she needed some extra love. And that deep connection is only by, and please correct me, grandmother, by really sitting with them for as long as it takes to feel them, to really feel them. And you will hear them. You will connect with them like you connect with your children, with your siblings, because they are our family. We are one with them. And I've learned so much, from you, grandmother, over the years, and I am so grateful. Um, with that, we will go to questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand, just like Pixel has. And in the side, I will put some announcements in the chat also for you to review. But please do listen with big ears. Pixel.
Greetings. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be with this new group. My name, while I am a Pixel, that's my telephone's name. My name is Bela Liza, and I represent Brooklyn, and I represent the heritage of my ancestors in the tradition that's expressed by the Jewish people now in all countries, and I am in I'm in South Florida on Seminole land. I'm also new to speaking in these terms, so if I do say anything or don't give honorifics in the culturally accepted way, please be patient with me around that. I would like to thank Leah for inviting me to this group, and I would like to ask you if you would please offer some direction or resources or perhaps a plant to work with to deeper evolve around the subject of mental health and schizophrenia. And it was very synchronistic for me as I've been communicating with plants and animals, and I'm in a while I am in a spiritual community where people are experiencing Adonai Hashem, the God of the Israelites, they are not in places of relating to plant kingdom or crystal gemstone in these different communities. I would like more support. You treated it in a very pragmatic way. And I did find a neuropsychiatrist after head injury who does not question or want to give me a diagnosis, and a psychiatrist who's not seeking those diagnoses. But I still feel like there are ways for me to blend, because it is important to me to continue to evolve my journey within Western culture and honor that I was brought here and that I am shepherding new medicines into the Western medical system. So I would like to have guidance on that, and anything that, if it is appropriate, to also weave in something about the relationship with Mama Cannabis, with the cannabis plant, as I am working with her to bring the medicines that she has that are, I've been told, are intended to help evolve the American economy forward. And I would like to do it in the most honorable and sensitive way.
Thank you. I I will give Michelle some different groups that you can go to and possibly some books. I personally do not pick a plant and say it will do that, because let's just take St. John's wort. You give it to some people and it relaxes them, and you give it to other people and it makes them hyper. So in the next class, I'll talk to you about how to find the medicine for different people. But to say this plant does this for everybody who's been labeled schizophrenia, it's just crazy. First of all, if you've read the latest research, the doctor took a whole bunch of people and put them in an institution, and they were all normal. And within 5 days, they had labeled them all schizophrenic because of their bias. The other then, and his colleagues got very upset. So he did another study where he took schizophrenics and told them they were normal, and the doctors all labeled them normal. So there's a lot of bias there, and that's the reason I say that you learn to actually talk to the plants and the animals is much safer than just labeling. I know a lot about schizophrenia because my mother was schizophrenic. And sometimes I think it's people who have extreme gifts, so, because I couldn't pronounce your real name, that get labeled. You know, I've been talking to plants and animals, and I can't remember not ever doing it. So you can name me all you want and give me a diagnosis, but I know who I am. And I know those voices are real, and I know the information they give me is safe. Now, do I check it sometimes? Yeah. If you say to me, this person needs lily of the valley, which is highly poison as a medicine, I go to the books and check it out because it's like when somebody's going in the lodge, I always ask them if they're on blood pressure medicine, because if they are and they go in that lodge, they can die. So it's not just the plants. That's just the beginning for you. So all you'll do is to accept the fact that you're probably normal with a lot of gifts. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm wearing Lily of the Valley scent right now. So thank you. It's beautiful.
Oh, wow. Look at that synchronicity. That's beautiful. Thank you, grandmother. And thank you for your question. In the chat, I have placed our email address if you'd like to connect there with me. And then I can relay the information that grandmother will send over back to you. Great. Chief Mel.
I found that quite interesting, grandmother, when you brought up about the medicines and the how people were treated and recognized. And I just recently saw where a study was done at mental institutions in 1972, I think it was. It might have been in 1973. That's before they started doing all the disbanding of them. And this, a couple of doctors sent in patients to or sent in normal people. Let's get to the basics. They sent in normal people to a half a dozen different psychiatric facilities, hospitals in different parts of the country. And when they walked in for an exam, they were told that I am seeing things to tell them these things and that. Well, they omitted each of these people, although there was nothing wrong with them at each of these facilities. Once they was admitted, continued diagnosis showed that they had the type of mental illness that they described, even though they were showing no characteristics of it initially in the hospital. So surroundings, the people that we're with, you're so right about the plants and how they affect us. And knowing and researching, and the key word you said, grandmother, was reading and going and looking it up, because everybody's constitution is different. And it's like Daniel walking around. He's on medications that other people can't even begin to handle because of heart damages and structure. So each of us are unique individuals, and we need to do our homework. You're so right. Thank you. I'll shut up.
One of the exercises that I gave the Celtic group was to go out and pick 7 trees, like 7 oak trees or 7 willow trees, etc., and tell me what their purpose was. And of course, some of them went to the book and told me what it says in the book. And I said, if you line up 7 humans from the same family or the same group, and you ask them what their purpose is, you can't go to a book and find that out. So every tree has a different purpose. And every plant, and even with a group, I have found that in a group of mullein, that not all the mullein relieves breathing. And it's not appropriate for everybody. So I'm honestly asking you for a complete shift of perception. I only have the books to check. I'm not, for instance, you have to be careful with Queen Anne's lace that it's not Queen Anne's lace. Because the plant with the fuzzy stem will kill you. Looks the same. So there is some knowledge you need and knowledge you have gotten previously. I'm just shifting you a little bit further. Please, I'm not negating any of the scientific stuff, ever. Every person, every being, plant, tree, bird, human, has a distinct purpose for being here at this time. And like my husband, it may be going to the grocery store because he loves the grocery store. I won't eat half of what he brings back, but I don't tell him he's wrong. Well, I did today. He brought something back that was so bad that I just picked it up and put it in the garbage. It was one of those synthetic cheese things in a jar. I don't know if you've ever seen them, and it had 22 different compounds in it. And I thought, no, I love you. You're not going to eat this. So anyway, are there any other questions?
That's wonderful, grandmother. Thank you for sharing. I love going to the grocery store because you get to stir up a whole bunch of crazy conversation that is so fun. I'm a grocery girl. Okay, is there any other questions that someone would like to share? Sister Kai, you're up.
Hello, beautiful people. Grandmother Wado, thank you, thank you so much. Pelamia, I am in deep gratitude. My name is Kai. I'm Cherokee descent. My mother, Flossie, is a namesake to great-grandmother Flossie, as introduced by kinship, the way that we did it for thousands of years before quantum. I'm learning. I'm new to reconnecting, and I'm learning much. And I give thanks to grandmother here for reminding me of the most important thing, that there are relatives and they're sentient. And just because an oak tree, say, has astringent properties, that doesn't mean that all oak trees are going to be there for a tonic. So with that, I'm just going to share a few stories because I was naturally born, I guess I'll call it mystically gifted. We say medicine, you carry medicine, or, but wasn't by my choice. And only later in life with reconnecting did I realize it's a blessing. I wasn't diagnosed as schizophrenic. They brought in all these people in my childhood, scientists, religious people, all kinds of people, to try and make this huge phenomenon to stop. That was witnessed by over, probably 200 adults and children. A lot of activity around wherever I went. I used to think it was the house was haunted until I moved. Finally later in life, you figure out it's me, and it's a gift, not a burden. But with that said, one day I'm working at some of the original sacred grounds of the Cherokee, where there's a shelter for the county. And I'm a water protector, and I'm teaching 7 generations about conservation at a conservation museum, the Environmental Heritage Center. And I get lost at a meeting in the woods because we're on 125 acres and it's a 66,000 square foot museum on this land. But I'm lost and I have to get back to the museum quickly. I just thought I'd take a turn here and step off a path there, and I'm stuck in this meeting, and I want to be out in nature. And before I know it, I was really lost. So I felt from my heart a pull to this big tree, to this huge big tree in this forest out here by the rock shelter. We found all kinds of sacred artifacts. So I went up to the tree and just hugged it, and it's kind of communicated a picture of my worries that, I'm lost, I'm new here, they're still seeing if I'm a good employee. And I got shot out of my body up to the top of the tree. The tree embraced me, pulled me in. It was like, whew. Some of you've heard this story before. And I'm out top at the top of the tree where I can see everything, and I can see how to get back to work in time. So I just start sprinting, because that particular tree was a guide and had empathy for two-leggeds to embrace me and show me the way back after I got thoroughly lost. So I've got many stories. I say it and put myself out there. I'm not schizophrenic. You too have abilities, even if you don't know it yet. I thoroughly believe everybody does. Your intuition, right? We just use different names. I personally believe it's been socialized out of you through whatever you want to call it, colonization, patriarchy, turning you into a prophet for big organizations instead of a person with feelings, is it comes through your feelings and senses, right? So I won't keep going, but grandmother, tobacco down, love you much, and love to all of you.
Thank you, Sister Kai. We love you, and I love your stories. And it's true. Like, you feel it, you know it. They're there. They support us and they love us. Oh, I'm so grateful for this evening and to be here with all of you. Sister Z, you're up.
Grandmother, I love you. Of course, talk back, go down. Thank you so very much. Gosh, all the lessons you've been helping us through, learning how to embody things. Like being able to become the plants. So I really don't have any questions, but for a while now through the different classes, you've been asking like what our experiences are, and I've been kind of holding it back because I've been trying to sit with it, before I share. But I have my sweet almond bush here where I have all my bees and my relationship with my bees. We sing together. Amazing things happen here. So, I already merged with it. I used to do that all the time. But when I do it, I breathe out. And I know it's breathing in my breath. And then I'll breathe in and I can breathe it. And we go back and forth with that until we become each other, right? And I can feel it. Practice makes perfect. I can feel it now through my heart center, and I get that bliss. I get that, orgasmic almost, but it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? It's mother. It's mother. And then I'm feeling the fire, the tingles in my fingers and my toes, the electricity. So I've been able to put it into the ground all the time. And even Sister Michelle or even Sister Linda here, I've been kind of practicing, because through some of our studies here in Rainbow Warriors, Lance is in here. He taught us a lot about how they interact under the ground, the root system and the communications, and how amazing and symbiotic and the community down there, and how they can deliver messages from so far away to each other. We are that. We are that too. We are the plant. So we have these abilities. We've been the veil's been put on us so much and disconnected us from what's already here, where we're like these devices now. We're being put into 15-minute cities where we're in charging stations. We're trying to charge ourselves with these synthetics, these AIs, when we have the real thing right here. And the more we practice, the more perfect, practice becomes perfect, because I feel her. I put my feet out there, and you don't need anything when you have her. Like that thing you're teaching us about need. Like when you can really, I want to thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts, because I don't know, it's been an amazing experience to be able to embody Mother Earth and everything that comes out of her, because that is every one of us and everything. Like we are one, and I don't know. I just want to thank you. Practice makes perfect, because now I put my feet in the ground when I feel that electricity. I put it in the water, and boy, does it feel good. And everything is like lining itself out, and I'm meeting more and more people who want to learn this, and it's just beautiful. I don't know. I just wanted to thank you and share my experiences. I've been sitting with it for a while, and it's like it's unconditional love at its finest, where you can actually feel it. And I cannot wait for other people to start experiencing this, one ripple at a time. So, love you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do want to share a real quick story before Steffi speaks. We have a big holly tree, and the holly tree is so large that it takes two people to put their arms around it to reach around it. It is huge. And I used to invite people up to merge with it, because it's so beautiful. Its feet are in the water, and it's just magnificent. And of course, the Celtic altar is in front of it. And so I invited this one friend to merge with it, and she put her arms around the tree and forgot to ask permission. She just kind of climbed into the tree, and all of a sudden I see her flying through the air about 10 feet up, several distance, and that tree literally kicked her out. So after that, the tree simply said no. And so what did it do? But now there is probably a 6-foot circle of poison ivy all around the bottom of that tree, so no one can get to her to touch. So she let me know in no uncertain terms that that was inappropriate. I think that, and this person, like I said, did not ask permission. If you're going to go out there and touch a tree, you better ask permission. Would you come up to another human? Well, some people would, but would you come up to another human and just wrap their arms around them? Especially an elder. An elder, you don't do that to without saying, may I hug you? Or may I touch you? And especially after some of the ceremonies, those people are wide open. You do not touch, period. So it's an honoring thing. And I think that honor, respect, and the understanding that there's nothing on this planet that is not a relative. Okay, Steffi?
I'm just going to share a couple of things super quick. I don't really have a question, but listening to you this evening reminded me that when I was a really small little girl, I always heard the trees. They sang. They didn't talk, they sang. And I sang with them. And my favorite time to go outside was in the evening because that's when I could hear their voices the best. And I remember being really small. And I remember the trees telling me, you're not allowed to talk about this. You can't tell anybody because if you tell someone, they will teach you to stop hearing us. I didn't speak about that until I turned 20 and was in college. I never told a soul because I didn't ever want their voices to go away. They were my safe place. But Sean and I have two quick stories. My second story is Sean and I had a special tree that we would occasionally go and visit when we lived in Huntington, West Virginia, before we were ever dating. And when we went to visit this tree, it was a big oak tree, and we called it Grandfather Oak. And Grandfather Oak showed people visions. And we went there on our first date, and Grandfather Oak showed me that we would get married. And the thing that Grandfather Oak showed Sean was that he was supposed to give me a kiss. So, I mean, that's really how our relationship started, was because of an oak tree showing us a vision.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, I have had a number, and I'm not saying you do this, please. This is not a put down on you. But be careful you're not always asking the plants what they can do for you. Ask them what you can do for them, because that's where the real relationship goes really deep, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I don't get visions from all of the trees. Grandfather Oak is the only tree that I ever encountered that with. I've never encountered that with another tree, not even another oak tree. It was just something about that particular tree that it would show you visions about things. I'm like, well, this is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is. And it was accurate. That's the reason I said I'm not putting you down,
Yeah, no.
but just be aware it's an equal relationship.
Yeah.
So if a tree gave me a vision, I would certainly plant flowers around it, ask it what it would want, how I could honor it.
You know, the biggest thing that it liked is for us to hug it.
Okay,
It wanted hugs.
good. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. Do you know I might be able to take maybe one more question, but I am 89 and my bedtime starts at 8 o'clock. So, you know, life changes as you are blessed with more age, um, you know, but right now, I just want to share what I have learned and and let all of you know that it's okay if you talk to plants. You're not crazy, but it is wise not to tell everybody, especially the doctors, you know, because they and even other people sometimes, unless it's a group like this, because if they don't talk to plants, you oftentimes will find that they get jealous and then they start gossiping around you, saying, you did this, you did that. And, you know, I just look at them and go, probably, you know, I don't, I don't have when people talk about me or say things about me, it's like the wind blowing through what little hair I have left. It never sticks. I understand it's their journey. And I also look and ask myself, why are you attracting this mirror into your life? What is the lesson here? What is the blessing? And the same with plants. The plants, you know, the other thing, one more thing, and then I'm going to shut up and leave. And that is if I am having a challenge with a human disease, I do not go out in my plants because, or if I'm angry at someone, or if I'm upset, or if I am having a day where I'm a little depressed. Sometimes a tree will ask me to, but I don't go into my vegetable garden or my medicine garden because I don't want to expose my relatives to the mood I'm in because it's my mood. And I'm not perfect, believe me. So I love every one of you. Michelle, is there anything else I need to do?
At this point, Auntie Susan, I seen that you had your hand up. Would you like to speak? Or
Yes, grandmother, I just wanted to say thank you very much. I'm really glad I came tonight. Thank you for sharing your love and your wisdom with all of creation. And I too communicate with trees, and I love the rocks, the outdoor rocks. I mean, not just crystals. I mean, real rocks, and sit and listen to them. And I just want to love you. So adding teaching us a little bit more sacredness in our behavior and our relationship with the trees and the plants. I realize now I need to class it up a little bit. Um, I haven't always asked permission. Would never touch, but I would start running my mouth right away without, hey, are you in the mood for this? So I just love you and and want to say thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. I'm going to give you all one more challenge. This is a biggie. Are you ready? For 1 week, drop saying I and say we, because these are gifts from Creator. So much of the non-Indigenous uh, beliefs are I have to go mow, I have to do this, I can do this, I can do that. And when people ask me, how many lodges have you poured? I say none, absolutely none. I go in there, I shut the door, and spirit pours that lodge. Like my elder, Grandpa taught me, I am not anything but a vessel and a hollow bone. So um, try
uh,
try doing that. Try just saying we, and then also let go of the words must, should, have to, want, all those shaming words when you talk to people and the plants. You know? The other day I was down in the garden and someone looked at a plant and said, "You should tell me where you want to go." And I went, "Whoa, uh-uh, uh-uh." So it's the word we. I love you. Absolutely love you.
Thank you. Thank you, grandmother, so much. For any of you that have questions after the fact that you would like to ask grandmother, she is going to be joining us again. We are so grateful on the 26th of August. So Wednesday, the 26th, grandmother will be with us again. You can also email us at rainbowwarriors.101.united@gmail.com, and we will get back to you. I will relay that message to grandmother to get your questions answered. And with that, grandmother, thank you. Tobacco down. I look forward to every moment we get to share as one together. Thank you. And
Grandmother,
Chief?
thank you. Cherokee tobacco going down. Thank you for sharing. Those rocks reminded me so much, the love in seeing those, and people get away from the smallest little things that share. And it goes back to what we was talking about in the beginning, that frequency, that electrical connection that connects the we, the us, that unites us all together. Grandmother, sleep well. Thank you. I look forward to having you back here on the 26th.
Oh, we rise, we unite, from the mountains to the sea. Warriors of love, you and me. We are the new tribe of the earth, connecting our spirits, remembering our worth. First Nation standing hand in hand, healing the wounds, restoring the land. With every heartbeat, we sing our song, together as one.